Gordon's Math Cats. How y'all doing today? Today we're going to do part 2 of solving literal equations. Alright, so what we're doing today is solving literal equations, day 2, multi-step literal equations. Now, I done a video on how to do one-step literal equations. They was easy, okay? And now I'm going to further that out by doing multi-step equations. All right, so let's get this party started, shall we? First thing I want to do is I want to go over a couple of algebra-looking problems before we start the literal equations. Whoops, come on back there. All right, first one's easy. I got me 2x plus 3 equals 15. That's a two-step equation. What am I going to do? How do you solve a two-step equation? Step 1, find your equal sign. Step 2, find your variable side. And step 3, get rid of what's farthest to closest. Well, I got x is what I'm solving for, so I'm either going to get rid of the 3 or the 2. How do I do that? I call it getting rid of the slouchy uncle. Okay? You got a plus 3 there. He like a slouchy uncle sitting around in his underwear watching ESPN all day. And then you got baby 2 snuggled up next to mama X. Well, when the money gets short, who do you think gonna get kicked out the house first? The slouchy uncle. Okay, because that's a plus 3. He's farther away than baby 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zero out the 3. Now, I could say I'm going to transform the 3 across the equal sign using the subtraction property of equality, but I'll just call it zeroing out. So I'm going to zero out the 3. Now that cancels out. I bring down my 2x equals, well, 15, positive 15, negative 3 equal to 12. Now it's time for baby 2 to move out the house. Now, that is 2 times x. What's the opposite? Division. So I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. Now I could call that transforming the number to the other side of the equal sign using the division property of equality, but I don't call it that. I call it oneing out. Because why? 2x divided by 2 give me 1x. So anytime I'm talking about adding, subtracting, I call that zeroing out. Anytime that I talk about dividing or multiplying to get 1x, okay, I call that oneing out. So I'm going to one out the 2. So 2x divided by 2 give me 1x. And 2 go into 12 6 times. Okay? See that? Now look over here. Alright? Now in this situation, I got an equal sign, a variable side, a variable, get rid of what's farthest to closest. Who's the slouchy uncle? Well, 5 is the slouchy uncle, positive 5. Okay, so I'm going to zero out the 5. What you do on one side of an equal sign, you do on the other. Alright, I bring down my x divide 3, equal up. Alright, and then 7 minus 5 is 2. Now I got x divided by 3. The opposite of divide is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply by 3 here. That cancels out because 3x divided by 3 gives me 1x. What you do on one side of an equation, you got to do on the other. Now I could tell you that I am transforming the 3 to the other side using the multiplication property of equality, but I'm just going to say I'm going to one it out. I'm going to one out the 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. Boom, bada, bing. Did everybody see these two basic two-step equations? Couple more problems I want to do. Now look at this ax and bx. All right, is there anything that I can divide out of that, pull out of that? The word is factor out. Is there something I can factor out of ax and bx? Well, I'm looking for the twins. The same thing on both terms. That's term 1, that's term 2. Oh yeah, there's an x. Okay, the x's are the twins. And I'm going to take the twins and turn them into 1. So what am I going to do? I'm going to divide by x. All right, and when I divide by x, x goes into ax, a times, x goes into bx, okay, plus b times. So now look what I did. 2, the twins, become 1 when I divide it or factor it out That means I now have a distributive problem, x times a times a positive b. Do you see how I factored the twins out and made it 1 on the outside? Good. Now, this is the old cross multiply problem. I got 1 over 2 equals x over 8. Because there's an equal sign there, I'm going to cross multiply. I go 1 times 8 equal to 8, and 2 times x equal to 2x. Well, I'm solving for x, so what am I going to do? I'm going to divide by 2. I'm going to 1 the 2 out. That cancels out and gives me x equals, okay? What I do on one side, an equal sign, I do on the other. 2 goes into 8 4 times. Boom, bada, bing. All right, this is some good basic stuff I wanted to show you before we start our problems. All right, so whenever we're doing literal equation, why do cats have trouble? Because there's lots of letters. It's like, I don't know to do all these letters. I'm just used to that 1x in the equation. Well, you just treat all the letters the same way you treat a 1 or 2 step equation. You're going to 0 out, you're going to 1 out, you're going to get rid of the twins and turn the twins into 1 by factoring out of the distributive or the parentheses issue. All right, so let's start with an easy one. All right, and by the way, here's the thing. When I write down the business, you write down the business. So when you can do in your DeltaMath or whatever literal equations, you can look at it and you can say, how did I do that? How did I do that problem? Then you got an example to see. So the first one kind of look like this. W over x equal y over z. Now, they're going to tell you what you're solving for in a literal equation. So you got to know what that is. Well, in this case, right, I'm going to say, let's solve for z. All right? Solve for z. Another way that they might do that is they might go like this, okay, with z, and that tells you, okay, we solving for z here. All right, now how on earth do I get that z from out from under? Well, I'm going to multiply, and because it's w over x equals y over z, I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to cross multiply here. All right, w times z equal wz. All right, and then I'm going to cross multiply here. X times y equal xy. Now remember, okay, I'm solving for z, and I should have said that. Circle the variable you're solving for. So I'm solving for z. All right, so because I'm solving for z, all right, now it's basically a one-step equation. I'm trying to get z by itself. W times z divided by w. Okay, I'm going to 1 out the w. And what you do on one side, you got to do on the other. Well, that cancels out, gives me z by itself, and z equals xy over w. Boom, bada, bing. Z equals xy over w. All right, let's go to a little more advanced problem. Okay? All right, now watch what I have here. I have 3x plus px equal m. Now I'm looking here and I'm saying, well, what am I going to solve for? Well, I'm going to solve for x. But I look at my problem and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, I got to circle what I'm solving for, but look, I got 2 x's. How am I going to solve with 2 x's? All right, well, it's not that hard. If you got 2 x's, they the twins that you're going to factor out. We got to factor out the twins. And the twins become 1 when you factor it out. So I'm going to factor it out, make it an x, and then x into 3x, give me 3. X into px, give me a plus p. I have now factored the twins out of this and turned it into a distributive x plus parentheses times 3 plus p. So now that equals m. Now remember, we're solving for x. So if it's x times what's in the parentheses, how am I going to get rid of it? Well, if it's x times it, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to divide. So here I am. I'm dividing by 3 plus p. Now when I divide that out, it gets rid of the parentheses. I don't need it no more because we ain't distributed. what you do on one side, divide by 3 plus p, you got to do on the other, divide by 3 plus p. Now these cancel out. And what does that give me? That gives me x by itself. Now I got m divided by 3 plus p. I just bring that down. Boom, bada bing. Watch, look how that works. Box around your final answer. Boom, bada bing. We good. Now, let's do another problem, shall we? All right. I have 2m parentheses minus h plus a in parentheses, okay, equal 5. 2m minus h plus a equal 5. Okay? Now, the first, and then by the way, I need to know, what am I solving for? Well, I'm solving for a. Whoo, man, that's buried deep in this problem, isn't it? How are we going to get rid of that? Step 1, circle the variable you're solving for, and then we got to get rid of everything around it. Well, what's the farthest thing out? Well, if I step outside in parentheses, I got me a 2m times a negative h plus a. Do you see that? Well, who am I going to get rid of first? I'm going to get rid of this 2m times. And what's the opposite of times? Divide. So if it's 2m times, I'm going to go 2m divided. So I divide by 2m. Everybody see that? What you do on one side, you got to do on the other. Well, now that cancels that out. Okay? And then I bring down the business. I bring down my negative h plus a. Now notice, when I got rid of the 2m, I'm not distributing no more. I don't need them parentheses. Okay? And what does this equal? That equals 5 over 2m. Now, remember, we solving for a. What do we got to get rid of next? Because a is the last cat standing on that side of the equal sign. Well, I got to get rid of the negative h. So how do I get rid of it? I'm going to zero it out. I'm going to use the positive or the addition property of equality. Now, wait a minute. What am I going to do here? Them's like a little friend group. He ain't going to join the friend group. He's just going to come over here. So then when that cancels out, all right, that gives me a equals 5 over 2m plus h. Boom, bada, bing. Can't go no further. All right, everybody got this so far. Can you see it, I hope? I hope. Now, let's do another one. Okay? I got me x over 2. Well, no. Gosh almighty. I got, let's do a different color. I got L, okay, equal Z plus capital Y over A. Gosh almighty, there ain't a number in that problem. How are we going to solve it? Simple. The first thing I got to know is, what am I solving for? I'm going to solve for capital Y. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to circle the capital Y. That's the last cat standing in the equation when I get all the way down. I'm solving for Y. Now I got Y over A, and then I have a plus Z over here. So who am I going to get rid of first? Who's the slouchy uncle to get kicked out of the house first? Well, A is snuggled up next to Mama Y, so we're going to get rid of the Z first. Going to get rid of that Z first. So if that's a positive Z, I'm going to make that a negative Z. Going to make that a negative Z. Okay? All right. And I can't like squish them together, so that just becomes L minus Z equal, okay, Y over A. Now I got solving for Y, so what do I got to do to get rid of the A? Well, that's Y divide A. You're going to do the opposite. So if it's divide by A, I'm going to multiply by A. Boom, bada bing. Now what you do on one side, you got to do on the other. The problem is I got two terms here. I got an L and a minus Z, and I'm going to multiply them by A. How do you do that? Distributive property. Sucker, you got to put in some parentheses. So this becomes A distributes across the L minus Z in parentheses, okay, equal a y. Whoopsie, capital Y, gosh almighty, help me, Jesus, Muslim tree, blah, 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 whatever. All right, so y equal a L minus z. That's my answer right there. And what did I do there? All right, when I had the L minus z, I multiplied by a, I got to turn it into a distributive problem. Everybody cool? Good. All right, moving along. I have me m parentheses negative x plus b, okay, in parentheses equal a L. All right? Well, and what am I solving for? I'm solving for b. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to circle that, and I know that's the last cat standing. That's the last thing I'm going to have down at the bottom. So now we got to get rid of cats. Who's the slouchy uncle here? Well, that's all snuggled together. That m's all the way over there. That's the slouchy uncle. He's saying m distribute or times across negative x plus b, so we're getting rid of the m first. So if this is m time of the business, I'm going to divide by the business. Okay? Divide the m, divide the m. We all cool so far? Okay? All right? Now, when I get rid of that, I get rid of the parentheses, so I ain't distributing no more. So I get negative x plus b equals L over m. Now remember, I'm solving for b. So what am I getting rid of next? The negative x. Well, if that's minus x, then I'm going to add x. What you do on one side, you got to do on the other. Right? That cancels out, and I get b equals, well, let's see, L over m plus x. Boom, bada, bing. Wasn't a single number in there, but we solved it all out, zeroing out and oneing out. Okay, everybody cool so far? Good. Good, math cats. Y'all rocking it. We only got two more problems. I got P equal, okay, P equal 6xy plus g, and I'm solving for y. Solve for y. So what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to circle the variable you're solving for. That's the last man standing, last woman, last cat standing. All right? So now if I'm solving for y, okay, I got 6x snuggled up next to mama y. That's multiplication. And then I got a plus g. Who's the slouchy uncle here? Well, the G's the slouchy uncle. When the money gets short, we kicking him out of the house first. So that's a negative g, subtraction property of equality. I'm going to draw a line across. All right, and this gives me P minus G equal 6xy. Remember, them got canceled out. So now, 6x and y, notice that 6 and that x, they multiply together, okay? They multiply together. They can come and go together because they attach through multiplication. If it was 6 plus xy, I'd have to get rid of the 6 first, but they're 6 times x. They can go together. So we're going to get rid of them at the same time. Divide by 6x, divide by 6x. And then, all right, that cancels out, I've run out of room, so I'm going to write over here. So this ends up being P minus G over 6x equals, well, what do I got left? Equals y. All right? Boom, bada, bing. Okay, so what did I do? Got rid of that slouchy uncle. The plus or minus on the outside goes over to the other side first. And then 6x is multiplied times the y, so I can one it out together, divide by 6x, boom, bada, bing, and here we are. All right, one more problem, cats. One more problem. Oh, you're going to love this one because he got a fraction. Oh, we love fractions, don't we? Oh, yes, Mr. Horton, I love fractions. They my friends. Oh, yeah, fractions is your friends. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I got f minus y plus 2/3 m. What do you think we solving for? Well, of course, we solving for m. All right, Step 1, circle the variable you're solving for. That's the last cat standing when you go to work everything down. Now I got 2/3 time of m, and I got a negative y over here. Well, who the slouchy uncle? Who we getting rid of first? Well, who farthest away? Well, the y is farthest away, so what are we going to do? We're going to bring that over here. Draw your line across. Good so far? Yeah. So this becomes, get rid of the y's, I get f plus y equal 2/3 m. Now, that's 2/3 times m, which means the opposite is divide. And this is very important for you to understand. Whenever you divide a fraction, if you remember back in middle school and 5th grade with them fractions, whenever you divide a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal, by the flip. So I've got to flip that 2/3 and multiply. So I'm going to flip that sucker and go 3/2. Boom, bada bing. All right? And remember, what you do on one side, you got to do on the other. I got to multiply by 3/2. But how am I going to make that 3/2 multiply f plus y? Well, that means I'm going to turn this into a distributive problem. 3/2 parentheses times f plus y equal, what do I have left? M. Boom, bada bing. See, what did I do? I just turned it into a distributive property because I got a f plus a y. 3/2 times f plus y. Now, hopefully you all square on this business. You've written it down, you understand it, and we cool. Have a great day. Bye-bye, math cats.